Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this lecture, in this video, we're going to continue our discussion on HACCP or Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points in food production or food manufacturing. So what is HACCP? HACCP is an international recognized system for reducing the risk of safety hazards in our food products. So in this HACCP system, it requires the potential hazard to be identified and controlled at specific point early in the production lines. So this hazard can include biological, chemical, as well as physical hazard. So any company that is involved in manufacturing, processing, as well as handling of food products should and highly recommend to use or apply HACCP plan in their productions in order to minimize or eliminate the food safety hazard in their products. So we are focusing on food safety here of our food manufacturing, okay, by identifying and controlling the potential hazard, whether it is biological, chemical, or physical hazards that could endanger or pose risk to our consumer. So how to build HACCP in our production system? Well, implementing HACCP system require prerequisite programs as well as HACCP plans to be implemented. What is prerequisite program? Prerequisite program is basically a foundational measure which has been or should have been implemented, okay, before applying HACCP plans in order to ensure food safety. So this is foundational, meaning the background. Yeah, this program includes basic operating condition and hygienic practices that are necessary to control hazard in the food production environment. So this include activity or procedures such as sanitation, aspect of personal hygiene, facility maintenance, supplier control, staff training, etc. So these are part of prerequisite program, okay, which serve as a foundation for the successful implementation of HACCP system, which is done by providing a hygienic environment and minimize potential risk to food safety. So this prerequisite program must be first implemented before we conducting HACCP before we implement HACCP plans in our system, food production system. So in HACCP plans, okay, are then prepared for each processes involved in the production, okay, and in this HACCP plan we must identify possible hazards and therefore we need to control them in point or place to make sure that the hazards are eliminated or removed or controlled in order to ensure that acceptable level in the food quality products. Why HACCP? Well, the awareness of foodborne illnesses is increasing and therefore concern throughout the industry is driving the use of HACCP system, okay, or HACCP based certification programs. There are 7 principles of HACCPs, okay. So remember, this is not 7 steps but more like 7 criteria, which is also step basically, but it's more towards principle or activities. Yeah. Number 1, the first principle is conducting analysis or hazard analysis. So remember, I mentioned it's not only physical or chemical but also biological. Yeah, we need to evaluate and identify all the potential hazards in order to prevent their introduction. So I mentioned physical hazard may include metal contamination, metal fragments, yeah, from the production line, chemical contamination such as cleaning products, residues, toxin, okay. Biological hazards including bacteria, virus, molds, and fungi, okay, they are risk to the products. Sometimes expertise is needed to make an accurate evaluation of the hazards. This means that if there is no sufficient expertise in the organization, then they need to identify external resources to identify so that the hazard analysis can be performed. Okay. Hazard identification involves two steps. Number one, identify, and number two, evaluating the risk. Then we need to conduct a critical control points. Okay, to identify critical control points, okay, must be identified, and therefore to reduce in order to reduce the hazard. Principle number two, after identifying the hazard, okay, conducting hazard analysis, is to determine the critical control points. At what steps along the production line of our products, this which can be controlled in order to minimize or prevent or eliminate the hazards that we have identified in the step number one. Okay, I mentioned it's not a step but essentially a principle, but also it can be a step. So these are, we call it as critical control points where hazard could arise. Okay, could arise later on if it is not controlled. For each critical control point or location or process or step, the preventative measure must be identified. How will the hazard can be prevented? Use of specific temperature, use of specific pH, specific time, procedure, etc. So step number two is basically determine the critical control point. The keyword is there here is critical. Okay, sorry, where it can affect or cause risk to our consumer. The third principle is establishing a critical limits. After we determine the critical control points in number two, we then determine the limits, okay, the upper and lower limits if you like. But first we must first identify the criteria for each critical control point above here. Whether this criteria is the temperature, whether we must control it based on pH, based on the duration or time. Those are the sort of criteria, but then we need to identify or determine the upper and lower values of each of these criteria, parameters if you like. Or is it the minimum temperatures only the important part, or is it it can be maximum temperature that is important, and so on. Okay, usually for example for cooking you need to have a minimum temperature of, okay, whatever depending on the food product. Okay, it must reach for example 70 degree, 80 degree for pasteurization, etc. Okay, or it must not exceed 100 degree or 105 degrees centigrade, so on. Okay, there must be the upper and lower limit. Is there any regulatory limits? Yeah? Is there any limits that is imposed by the regulation agency? Then you must adhere to that limits. Okay, based on the regulatory agency, you must meet these control points. Okay. So as mentioned, we must establish maximum and minimum, yeah, upper and lower limits, whether it is temperature, time, pH, salt level, chlorine level. Okay. Other processing characteristic that will determine that will control the hazard. This we call it the critical limits. Okay, critical limit for the CCP or critical control point. If this limit is ever exceed, then the corrective action must be taken, okay, and all affected product must be removed from the production, from the sales. Point number 4 or principle number 4 is establishing monitoring procedure. Okay, although monitoring should be done at all times, yeah, that's why this is not necessarily step 4. Okay, but as part of the HACCP plan, we need to establish some kind of monitoring, whether it is a continuous monitoring or it is a regular monitoring, yeah, at a certain interval of time. So in this case, what will be measured and how it will be measured, okay, the process at critical control points need to be monitored and keep a records to show that compliance within the critical limits have been achieved. So this is the purpose of monitoring, whether it is continuous monitoring of the control point that we discovered in the beginning, which is a specific process or specific location and so on. If not, how often will the measurement, if it is not possible to have a continuous monitoring, then how often will the measurement need to be performed in order to show that the process is under control? So this is part of the principle number 4, which is establishing monitoring procedure. So principle number 5, establish corrective actions. So action must be taken. Action must be established if a critical limit is not met. This will be identified ahead of time for each critical control point. The action must make sure that no unsafe product is released. There must also be an evaluation of the process in order to determine the cause of the problem and therefore the elimination of the cause ultimately. Okay, so I know this may be a bit confusing to all of you, but we will do some example later on, after this, and then I suggest you also work on a case, an example of case similar to the example that I will give you in a minute. So let's just proceed until principle number 7. Principle number 6 is to establish verification procedures. So once the HACCP plan has been validated, then the next thing is to ensure or make sure that it is effective. It is effective in preventing the hazards that we have identified. So you must test the end products, verify that the controls are working as planned, as expected. So it's part of the verification procedures. We must perform an ongoing verification of the system. Are the measurement and monitoring equipment in controlled? What are corrective actions taken if some correction action has been done? Are records being maintained as required, and so on? This is all part of the establishing verification procedures. And then last one, the 7th principle of HACCP is establishing record keeping and documentation. It is very crucial. Record keeping and documentation is very crucial for maintaining food safety standards. These involve creating detailed records of all aspects of HACCP plans and implementation, including the hazard analysis, critical control points, monitoring activities, any correction action, verification procedure, and so on. These records will serve as an evidence that the plan is being followed correctly and can be reviewed, whether it is monthly and so on, or 6 monthly or yearly, to ensure the compliance with HACCP regulation or HACCP certification. Documentation also provides a valuable resource for training personnel, especially during the audits, or conducting an internal audits. So in order to develop HACCP plan in the company, basically following the similar step as before. This is more detailed information basically on the first one, identifying the hazard, and then determine the critical control points. And then after the hazard analysis has been completed, then we need to determine the critical control points, or CCP. And then the limit must be identified. Determine the maximum and minimum and upper and lower limits for either temperature, whether it is time, what is the time required, the minimum time required or maximum time required, and so on. Minimum pH, maximum pH level, and so on. This is important, as part of the critical, to determine the critical limit for the critical control points. If this is exceeded, then correction action must be taken. Again, it will become more clear if we using an example in a minute. Let's just go through it quickly. As part of developing HACCP plans in our company, we also mentioned that continuous or regular monitoring must be in place, whether it is physical measurement or observation, and all of this activity must be recorded also. Okay, let me just proceed to the next one. The other aspect of developing HACCP plan in our company is the documentation and records, must be present. Okay, this principle focus on the records and documentation needed to show that all activities has been performed according to the approved procedures. Documentation provide clear instruction of the approved process so that each person knows how to perform the process in an approved manner. Records also show that the work performed was done in compliance with these procedures. The standard requires specific procedures and documents as well as requiring organization to identify documentation that needs to be developed. Okay, so this document as part of Food Safety Management System (FSMS), okay, includes food safety policy and objective as well as various records. So this is a detail or example of food safety policy and objective in a company, a typical policy and objective. Okay, just for your reference. And then this is an example of typical records, record of communication, record of management, record of training, and so on. Again, finally, as part of developing HACCP plan in the company, it is also important to do verification activities. Okay, it basically involves checking and confirming that the plan is effective in ensuring that food is safe. Okay, it's basically double checking, to make sure that the products, everything is working as intended. Okay, so this includes checking the plans, okay, and testing procedures, okay, reviewing records. This is also part of the verification activity, as well as ongoing monitoring. Continuously keep an eye on the process to ensure that the process remain effective over time. This might involve regular inspection or audits. Okay. Alright, let's do some example in developing HACCP plan in our company. For example, the company is producing chicken nuggets. Okay, how do we implement HACCP plans in our business? Well, according to the principle of hazard analysis and critical control points, number one is to determine what are the potential hazards in the production of, in this case, chicken nuggets, frozen chicken nuggets. The potential hazards can be biological hazards, okay, in the form of bacterial contamination. Okay, so it could be salmonella contamination, campylobacter, E. coli during the preparation or during the handling of raw material, during the processing of the raw material, or even during the packaging of the final products. The other hazard can be chemical hazard, whether it is in the presence of some allergen, some pesticide residue or toxin, or chemical contamination from the processing equipment or cleaning agent is an example of chemical hazards if it gets in contact with our products. Physical hazard can be the presence of foreign objects such as metal fragments, bones, or plastic piece into the final products. This is an example of physical hazard. So we must identify this where this possible contamination occur during the production of our products. So once we identify the potential hazards, then the next one after hazard analysis is identifying the critical control points, meaning the location or the steps along the production line where this hazard can take place. So for example, critical control points, number one is raw material inspection, meaning raw material processing. In this case, the person who handle the receipt of the raw material, they must ensure the incoming meat materials meet the quality standard, safety standards. Okay, this includes monitoring temperatures and condition upon receipt. And then the critical control point number 2 is cooking process of our chicken meat. In this case, we must ensure that chicken nugget reach a certain temperatures, internal temperatures during cooking, for example 74 degree, and in order to eliminate the pathogens. So this cooking can be critical control points in addition to the raw material inspection. Second one is cooking process, and then the third one is cooling. Okay, could be a potential critical control points. The company must rapidly cool the cooked nuggets in order to prevent microbial growth. Okay, if the cooling process takes long time, then microbial growth can take place in our product, in our chicken nuggets. That's why the cool process must be controlled. Yeah, we must quickly cool the product in order to produce frozen chicken nuggets. The other critical control point is packaging. Okay, the people or the team involved in the packaging must ensure the packaging of this material clean and intact in order to prevent physical or any other type of contamination. HACCP principle number 3, to establish critical control points, critical limits. The second one is points, the third one is limits, meaning for CCP number 1, if you remember, CCP number 1 was raw material inspection. So in that case, make sure the temperature of incoming chicken meet the required temperature, for example below 4 degrees C. Okay, when you receive the raw material, the meat ingredients must be below 4 degree and so on. And then critical control point number 2, what is the critical limits? If you see, critical control point number 2 is the cooking step. Okay, the first one is the raw material receipt, and the third one is cooling, and the fourth one is packaging. So for the cooking, we must ensure that temperature of the chicken must reach 165 Fahrenheit or 74 degrees C, okay, for at least 15 seconds. Okay, that is the limits or critical limits in order to pass, to make sure that the products meet the required specification. Otherwise, it might be raw, it might be the pathogen might not be eliminated and so on. Okay, and then control point number 3, if you remember, number 3 is cooling process. So in this cooling process, the cooked nuggets must be cooled down quickly to 4 degrees C within 2 hours, for example. Yeah? So it must be cooled down within 2 hours. It cannot reach, in order to reach 4 degrees C, it cannot be more than that. Okay, and then finally, critical control point number 4 is packaging, and therefore in this case we must ensure packaging material must be free from any visible defects or contamination. So this is an example of critical limits, establishing the limit. As you can see, whether it can be time 15 seconds or it can be upper and lower temperatures. Okay, 2 hours is an example limit. Physical hazard here, packaging must be free from defect and contamination. Okay, and then HACCP implementation number 4 is monitoring procedure. Okay, so for critical control point number 1 is the receipt of the material. We must conduct a visual inspection, okay, and temperature check upon the receipt of the meat products. Okay, and then critical control point number 2, which is during cooking, the cooking instruments must be calibrated. Okay, and we use calibrated thermometers. Okay, the instruments also okay, but the thermometers that we use to detect or to check the temperature must be properly calibrated in order to monitor the internal temperatures, okay, of the products during cooking. And then critical point number 3 is, you remember, is the cooling process. Okay, you must record the cooling temperatures, okay, and also the times, okay, during the cooling process. And then number 4 is the packaging. We must regularly inspect the packaging material for any sign of damage or contamination. Okay, so this is principle number 4, implementing monitoring procedures. Principle number 5 is establishing corrective action, meaning if the problem in number 4, okay, there is a problem with number 4, which is the receipt of the material, okay, where incoming chicken meat is above an acceptable temperature, then we must reject the shipment. Okay, reject the shipment. And then during cooking, for example, if the cooked nuggets do not reach the required internal temperature, then we must also adjust the cooking time accordingly, okay, temperature accordingly, or if it's already released, then we must withdraw, we must take it from the storage. Okay, and then during the cooling, if the cooling exceeds the specified time frame or temperature limit, then we must investigate the cause, okay, and adjust the cooling procedure accordingly. And then number 4, as part of the establishing corrective action, if any packaging material found to be damaged or contaminated, then we must remove the affected package from production area or replace with the new packaging. Okay, and then for the verification procedure, we must conduct regular audits and inspection to ensure the compliance with the HACCP plans, verify the effectiveness of the cooking and cooling process through temperature monitoring and microbial testing, and review all the records and documentation to ensure accurate recording of the monitoring activities and corrective action. And then finally, establishing a record keeping procedure, or in other words, documentation. We must maintain records of incoming raw material inspection, cooking temperatures, cooling times, packaging inspection, corrective action taken. Okay. We also must retain all the records for a specified period of time as required by the regulatory authorities.